Greetings, everyone! Hello, my name is Flora Gainsborough, and today I'm super excited because I actually have my friend Alywaterbug with me.
Hello.
Now, what we're actually going to do is play Asagao Academy Normal Boots Club. I love this game. A friend got me into it. I've played all the routes. She has never heard of this game, so I'm like, do you want to play it? And she's like, okay. So I'm super excited about that, and with that, you're going to want to hit no. She has not seen anything about this. I'm actually friends on Twitter with the dude who helped make this soundtrack.
Nice.
That is you. Cute, right?
Looks like me.
The dark-skinned guy is the first one I went for. They actually got the voices from the actual members of the Normal Boots Club. Like these people. Jared is Pro Jared on YouTube. If you go look at him, it is Jared.
Yep.
Memories. So excited. By the way, the dude on the far right with the black is Crepe McPasta. He's the school nurse. And have you ever heard of creepypasta, the trope? Oh, well, you guys will know he's a living embodiment of creepypasta. They do horror stories and...
Oh, well, that's why I don't know.
Asagao Academy W.
Ooh, I don't remember which voice that is. Can you go to load data real quick? Okay, good. Return. And play. Visual novel, everybody. It's 1:14 now. Okay. Do you want me to read it out loud for you? The train made its way along the gentle curve of the coast of Japan, whisking me further and further from home. Across from me sat a boy, face half buried in a newspaper. He was deeply entranced in whatever article he was reading, and hadn't spoken a single word to me, even when I asked if I could join him in the last compartment with any available space. He shrugged, nodded, and adjusted his newspaper without ever making eye contact. It'd been almost an hour, in fact, and he hadn't once looked at me. Devoid of conversation, I took instead to counting the buttons on the pretentiously lush carmine seat cushions. 1, 2, 3, 21, 22, and so forth, over and over. Now and again, I turned to look out the window where the trees were blurring by. Sometimes the smeared green would break and reveal the quiet blue of the Sea of Japan. Eventually, this rapidity made my stomach churn, and I went back to counting the buttons on the seat cushions. This really does sound like you. Holy crickets. 1, 2, 3. The train compartment shuddered around us. My eyes wandered to the boy and his jacket. It wasn't the school-issued blue that I and the other students on the train were wearing. Instead, it was a green, varsity-like jacket with an embroidered patch poorly sewn on the front. So you're a first year, then? He folded his newspaper neatly, set it in his lap, and looked at me with a half-interested gaze. I love those fucking sparkles around him.
Right?
Did he just catch me staring? Now that the paper was gone, I saw his face. He watched me through heavy-lidded eyes. His hair was immaculately groomed, his teeth straight and blindingly bright. There was something about him, the way the light hit him, that made him look like he was almost sparkling?
Sparkling! Sorry.
Me? He glanced around the compartment, empty beside us, and laughed. Oh, no, I'm not a first year, I'm a third year. The train began to slow, metal wheels groaning against metal tracks. The sudden shift threatened to rob me of whatever was left in my stomach, but I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, willing myself to keep it together. Kind of impression would I leave, puking on a student before I even arrived at the academy? The boy frowned. I picked at the hem of my cotton skirt. I love how before this that you hear that, he's so fucking arrogant.
Yeah.
That's not possible. I've never seen you before. Sorry, something's in my throat, guys. It took me a moment of mouth fishing to find a response. It's because I'm a transfer student? He laughed again. A transfer student, huh? We don't get many of those. I removed my acceptance letter from the front pocket of my uniform. The paper, heavyweight, off-white, had accumulated creases from my reading and rereading as if the words might have changed since the last time I read it. The boy took it, studied it, then handed it back to me.
I'll see you around.
Well then, Hana, I suppose I'll be seeing you around.
He had a boot on his jacket.
Yeah, that was a patch. He smiled at me as he picked up the suitcase lying next to him. By the time I hiccuped a response, he was already gone from the compartment. I stared out into the empty hallway of the train. It was then that I realized he, having gotten it from my acceptance letter, knew my name and I never got his. Rude. The train settled at the station, and I filed out with the rest of the uniformed students. It was early April, and the last frost of winter had come and gone. If only.
Hey!
The trees were already green, their leaves shivering in the occasional gust weaving through them. The air was mild, only a few clouds hanging in the sky. I walked along the road with a swarm of blue-jacketed bodies, looking at the little groups breaking off from the crowd. Everyone was buzzing so animatedly around me. I held my suitcase tight in my sweaty hands. It was leather-bound and worth more than anything it contained. It wasn't far to the school, and I was, for maybe the first time in my life, thankful that what I owned didn't amount to much. My school issued black Oxfords. Click, click, clicked on the pavement. I walked this walk over and over in my mind. So many nights I lay awake, imagining what it would be like to walk from this train station to Asagao Academy this first time. My new start. I always imagined that everything would change for me on this walk. That somehow everything would be magically different. But as I looked around, I realized nothing had changed. That's always sad when you hope for something and then it's like, boof.
Yeah.
I hadn't changed. By the time I reached the massive gate to the academy, I forgot all about the disappointment slouching in the back of my throat. Huge school. Tell you what, rich people.
Right?
The school, framed by the gate's twisting black metal, was just as beautiful as the glossy photo I saw in its pamphlets. This was it. Asagao Academy. I glanced around. The swarm of students gathered around the gate. Beyond it, tiny blue people bounced around the academy's main building.
Bounced around. Boing!
Oh, if only. Like in one of those Kirby games, you know? Like, boing, boing. You can set it on there. I've done that so many times. A girl pressed a button on one side of the gate. The excitement in the air was almost palpable. A few moments later, the black gate, with great effort, creaked outwards and cleared the pathway. As the rest of the group shifted into motion, I followed along, a sheep in the herd. You're welcome to put in your own commentary, you know. My stomach tied itself into knots. The crowd split off in different directions. For a moment, I panicked.
Yeah?
A tired-looking man with graying hair called out for first years, a cluster of fresh-faced students gathering around him. He is awesome. Hey, look at that girl!
Uh-oh.
I turned. A few feet away, a small group of boys were pointing at me and snickering.
Go figure.
Right. Pink hair? Are you kidding me? Said posh boy.
Oh.
Tall boy. How desperate can you get? Hot shame crawled down my neck.
Hey, I like my pink hair.
I attached myself to a group of girls, following a few steps behind them. In the distance, cicadas hummed in time to my shoes crunching against gravel. I miss cicadas. We don't get that up here in Washington. My hair. It wasn't my fault my hair looked like this. Luckily, I found myself at the girls' dormitory, a large sign in the lawn reading Primrose House, because of course. The building dwarfed me in size and sheer intimidation.
Well, yeah, it's a building.
It could be like one of them teeny houses, you know? The buy me a tiny house or whatever. Sorry. How many students did Asagao have? As I approached the building, a red-headed girl lingering nearby caught my attention. I looked away, then looked back. She was staring at me.
Oh, yay.
She walked over.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you must be my roommate!
I can't top that one.
Okay.
I eyed her warily. She was smiling and bouncing in a way that suggested her views on life were akin to a perpetual bouncy castle.
Yeah, okay. What?
Me?
Bingo.
Of course, you silly. Let me guess. Room 325? I thought back to the paper I received a month prior, with a list of all the supplies I needed for the year and my dorm arrangements. Yeah, that's right. She laughed, but I couldn't figure out what was so funny. Was she laughing at me? When I found out my roommate was a transfer student, I knew you were going to be a total main character.
That's concerning.
I'm sorry.
Whoops.
What?
How do
What
I
is-
go back?
Ah, wrong button.
Oh,
I know
well.
there's a way to. It's not B. Anyway, she said, I'm sorry, a what?
Oh, okay.
When I saw you outside the gate, I knew it was you. I mean, look at that hair.
I like my pink hair.
I felt a lump forming in my throat. What was she talking about? She had to be making fun of me. I hadn't spent more than 5 minutes on campus, and I was already being mocked. My hands began to tremble. Oh, little tears. Is there something wrong with my hair? Her face slackened from its amused smile to a more worried expression. Then she began to laugh again.
I'm stuck with a lunatic. Okay.
Oh, no. It's great. I'm sorry.
Can't top that one.
We're getting off on the wrong foot, aren't we? Oh, gosh. I'm Mai Sasaki. You must be Hana.
I bowed my head.
Hello.
It's nice to meet you, Mai. Fun thing, Hana in Japanese also means flower.
Pretty.
if I remember correctly, Asagao is a type of flower, so this is literally like Flower Academy. All your school books are waiting in our room with your welcome letter, and I read the envelope.
Go figure.
I hope you're not mad. Mai started walking towards the dorm's front doors. I followed behind like a lost puppy. Did you check in at the front desk already?
Huh?
No, I didn't. I didn't know I was supposed to. Good. They'll offer to have a staff member give you a tour of the campus, but I can show you around. We don't get many transfer students in year 3, you know. Oh, is that your only bag? Just the one? I'm glad I brought an extra bag of stuff to decorate our room with. I already started. I hope you don't mind. Welcome to your roommate. First thoughts, impressions?
You.
What about the strange boy on the train? Arrogant, right? I saw him and I'm like, wow, you're an arrogant playboy. That was my first thought. But I did wait to string the lights. I thought we could do it together, you know?
String lights.
She spoke quickly, the words bubbling from her mouth, and left me no time to answer until the end of her monologue. It really does sound like you and me now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, okay, that sounds good. She held the front door open for me, and I hurried inside.
Purple walls.
Look at the ceiling!
That is cool.
And the wood floors. Like, really.
And note to any of y'all out there, if I say the color wrong, it's because I can't see colors the way other people see them.
She's slightly colorblind. That's little Allie for you.
I see purple walls, they could be pink. Who knows?
Pinkish purple. It's like a... It's kind of like that weird flower that you see. It's like, this is a really cute pink flower. Or is that weird shade of light purple?
So lavender?
Ish? Really, really, really light lavender, though. Whenever I think lavender, I always think like those deep purple plants. And it's like, this is like a lavender blush. Oh, I know, the music is fantastic in this game. Girls filed up and down the hallway, howling greetings and exchanging vague niceties that were more often than not, how was your break? And look at how tan you got.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you. It seemed like everyone knew each other.
Except me.
Right. I followed Mai as she led me through the maze of students and up 2 flights of stairs.
Oh, good lord.
Each dorm floor looked the same as the last, narrow white doors lining both sides of the pale pink walls. Thin gold numbers were tacked to the front of each, the numbers rising as we climbed.
Ha! I said purple, somehow I knew it was pink.
It could be purple.
It says pink.
Yeah, but I mean, they look kind of purple, kind of pink. It's that weird color. You're not missing anything with the campus tour, I promise. Mr. Saitomo does them every year, and he's like totally dull. He just drags you around the entire campus and talks in that weird squeaky voice of his. I'll tell you everything you need to know. I smiled, trying to let this calm my nerves.
Yeah, no.
Thanks. We headed down a hall on the 3rd floor. Mai stopped us in front of a door numbered 325. Here we are.
I thought we were supposed to hang the lights together.
You will. A faint smell of potpourri wafted through the room. The walls, like the hallway, were a soft, powdery pink. Mai already defaced them with a tapestry of posters, magazine cutouts, and photographs. You like the posters on the wall, by the way?
Sorry.
I had a feeling you'd make that comment. Some of the photos were of cats, but most were of male models and rugged musicians. A bunk bed, 2 writing desks with wooden chairs, a small dresser, and a mirror vanity, all clearly provided by the school, were the only pieces of furniture in the tiny room. The top bunk was already covered in neatly tucked blankets and throw pillows of clashing patterns and colors.
Yep, that sounds like you.
The bottom bunk had a single, stiff-looking pillow and a thin cotton blanket that I didn't need to touch to know was horribly itchy. I must have grimaced, and Mai quickly smiled at me. I brought way too many pillows and blankets. I always overpack. I went to Italy over break, and Mom got really mad at me because I brought 5 bags, but we're only there for a week.
That part doesn't sound like you, though.
Yeah. She laughed, pulled several blankets and pillows from her bunk, and rearranged them neatly on mine. A sudden twinge of guilt and embarrassment hit me.
Germ infection.
There, that's much better. Thanks, Mai. I placed my suitcase on the bottom bunk and began to unpack its contents. Several changes of clothing, pens and pencils, empty notebooks, a few photographs of my father, a dilapidated stuffed rabbit, and an old portable radio and a small black box. Mai opened the curtains and the sunlight poured in.
Ah!
I know, you little vampire. So, where are you from? I slid the now empty suitcase under the bottom bunk. About 2 hours north of here. It's a small town called Amiririsu. You probably haven't heard of it. I set the stuffed rabbit, Mr. Bunny, on my bed beside a purple and teal throw pillow. Oh, did you go to a different boarding school, or... No, I went to a public school down the street from my house.
Really?
Public school? What was that like? Were the students mean? Did you have a lot of friends? I always went to private schools. My parents work a lot, and my dad goes overseas, so I think they stuck me here for convenience. Oh, hey, what's that? I had removed an ornately patterned origami crane from the black box and was setting it on the unclaimed writing desk. Oh, this? My mother made it for me a long time ago. I set it beside a stack of thick textbooks, which I assumed were provided for me.
Aww.
It's so pretty! I've never seen paper like that before. Oh yeah, the lights! Let me get them. Mai went to her own desk, opened the drawer, and pulled out a long, tangled string of fairy lights.
Of course they had to be tangled.
Yeah? I thought these would look nice. Here, help me string them up. The girl grabbed a container of push pins, then pulled her wooden desk chair out and over to one wall. I did the same with my own. Together, we pinned the lights around the perimeter of the room. How was the train ride over? Did you meet anyone? No, not really. I was in a compartment with some guy, and...
What?
Some guy, huh? Was he cute? Oh, yeah, I guess. I don't know, I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't even get his name. Mai seemed disappointed for a moment, then perked back up, probably at the lack of gossip. You'll have to point him out to me if you see him again. Okay.
Yeah.
Once we finished stringing the lights, Mai climbed down from her chair and brushed her hands together triumphantly.
Yeah!
Done! Okay, now it's time for lunch. The food here is pretty good. There's this ramen place down the street from campus that's like out of this world, but the school only lets us leave campus on weekends. Mai walked to the window. We could go today because it's Sunday and it's pretty nice out, but I guess you might want to go to the caf since you just got here. We could... She was suddenly interrupted by her own enthusiastic laughter.
Yep, sounds like you.
No idea what you're talking about. Oh my gosh, Mimi Santos totally just tripped outside and fell on her face. I saw it. Oh, is that mean to laugh? Maybe I shouldn't have. Oh well. Anyway, let's go eat. I'm totally starved. She led me out of the room before I even had a chance to respond.
But I like noodles.
Yeah, you don't really care for much ramen because it's got the bouillon and stuff in it.
Just depends on how it's made.
The cafeteria was buzzing with students, excited for the new year. The only people as nervous looking as I felt were the table of skittish, wide-eyed first years. I stepped in a line behind Mai, taking an empty plastic tray. We shuffled through, asking for helpings from the sulky cafeteria workers when we passed something that looked good. With full trays, Mai led me straight to a table in the back, where a few students were already sitting. Mai sat down, and I took a seat across from her. Hi, Mai. How was your break? It was good. I went to Italy and Spain. Dad fell off a jet ski and broke his ankle.
Ow.
It's better now, though. Oh. Well, that's nice. I expected to be introduced, but the girl turned back to her group of friends and Mai turned back to me. She began to assault her food with a fork and tell me, in a practically minute-by-minute account, about her fleeting romance last summer with a boy she met on the beach that didn't go further than a few salty kisses. I told you you'd love this game. It's fantastic. I sat back and let Mai talk. For the first time since arriving on campus, I felt like I was finally able to breathe.
Yeah, nobody was staring at her.
Let's see, real quick. It is 40. We started this at 14. Yeah, we've still got a little bit of time. I picked at my Brussels sprouts and studied Mai as she spoke. The more she talked, the more I began to notice small details about her. She had a high songbird voice.
What?
She was dynamic, her face twisting this way and that into exaggerated expressions as she spoke. She laughed often. She imitated people in wildly unflattering voices, seemingly unrelated to her actual opinion of them. But most notably, she talked.
A lot.
I didn't find this particularly annoying, as it filled the silence, and she hardly ever asked questions that required my full attention. Just as Mai was rounding off on a shockingly detailed account, she accidentally walked in on her friend's older brother in the act of changing. A flash of familiar green caught my eye. I glanced over. Hey, that's him! Huh? Who? I leaned across the table to whisper, just in case he could hear me through the ambient chatter of the lunchroom. The boy from the train. That's him.
What?
Jared? Yeah, with the weird jacket and swoopy hair. He just picked up his tray and was walking past us when something seemed to catch his eye. Oh, you.
Sparklies!
You notice the music, by the way? If I remember correctly, each boy has their own theme.
Nice.
I looked at him, suddenly realizing he was talking to me.
Hana,
Hana, I met you on the train. How are things settling down for you? Really well. I found my roommate and she's been helping me out. I gestured to Mai, who was thunderstruck. In fact, looking around, everyone was. People stopped eating to turn and stare at Jared and me, my shoulders bunched around my neck. Well, if you ever need any help, I'll be around. 3rd year, right? I nodded.
all right.
Some of my friends are in that year. Of course, they can't compare to me, but I'll give them the heads up to look out for you. He flashed a dazzling smile, then winked. It's the least I can do for such a cute girl. Well, I'll see you around. I watched, a torrent of thoughts raging through my head as he took a seat next to a bunch of guys who were all wearing the same jacket.
Just a little squeak.
I know, it's adorable. But that's Jared. She tore her eyes away from him and looked at me.
He's so cute.
He's the most beautiful guy in school.
Oh, Jared.
I can't believe he just looked at me. I looked at Mai. Her cheeks were glowing an indecent pink. Why do they all wear these jackets? Aren't all the guys supposed to wear blue blazers as part of their uniform? No, they're allowed to. They're... You know Jared? That girl turned back around and was looking at me with sudden interest. Did I know him? I only talked to him on the train for a few minutes, so not really. We weren't friends or anything. But looking around, Maya and this girl weren't the only one who were interested. Everybody seemed to be listening in.
Not good.
They seemed so surprised when he talked to me. Maybe a little white lie couldn't hurt? First decision of the game!
Not really.
Oh. She looked me up and down, sniffed, and turned away.
Well, you're a bitch then.
Right. It's okay. Maya leaned towards me. Don't mind Mimi. She was just trying to get in with you. Get in with me? Why? Well, you asked me about those guys and their jackets, right? Those are their Normal Boots Club jackets. Fun thing, Normal Boots Club is actually a YouTube group channel thing. This is put out a while back, so they're not all as tight as they used to be. The Normal Boots Club is actually a thing among these actual guys. Same with the Normal Block Club, who you'll meet later. They're what? What's Normal Boots Club?
It suddenly got really quiet. Damn, Jared.
Oh! Before we keep going on this, they get together and play video games. Or something. Crap, is this one of those that goes on their own, or did you accidentally
I
hit a button?
accidentally hit the space button.
I don't remember how to go back. Oh well. Y'all can just pause a few seconds ago, so... Yeah. That is JonTron. I know I've shown you a few things about him. And, you know about his bird Jacques, right? JonTron has a YouTube channel, and in every video, he always has Jacques on his shoulder. A little, I think he's a parrot. And he plays around with it a lot, but, like, obviously it's been edited and messed with. But he'll give Jean, whenever he talks, these red eyes and this, like, robotic evil voice. And he's a sassy little buttfuck. He's amazing, though. But that is Jacques, his, like, best friend. He's playing a Game Boy.
Ah,
Like one
memories.
of the old-fashioned Game Boys.
Memories.
Anyway, they get together and play video games. Or something. That one right there is John, also known as JonTron. His bird name is Jacques. John is also the president of the drama club here at school. Next to him is PBG. He and John founded the Normal Boots Club together. PBG is one of the best soccer players on our team. Then there's Gerard. People call him the completionist because he's obsessed with completing things. He has the biggest itty-bitty kitty collection I've ever seen. Fun thing, the completionist is also another channel on YouTube where he will give a review on like different games, and he is obsessed with the completionist rate, kind of like how I am with like Banjo-Kazooie and such. Next to him is Jared, also known as Pro Jared. He's a model. Then there's Satchbag, but everyone calls him Satch. He's like crazy smart. I went for him first because of the first thing I ever heard him say, and it was so cool. He's like, copacetic. And it's like, ooh, your voice, man. So that's the only reason I went with him first. Vanity. Those guys all over there are Paul, Nick, and Josh. They wrote a column in the school newspaper called Continue? Again, another YouTube channel. Paul, the one standing up, is the student council president. And the guy on the end there is Shane. He knows more about video games than anyone ever. She exhaled a dreamy sigh into her mashed potatoes. So, how would someone, join the Normal Boots Club? You don't choose the boots, Hannah. The boots choose you.
What does that even mean?
That is the main question of this game. You have to be presented with the boots to be in the club, and they're like super selective. What are the boots? The club has this boots statue. It's like the one on their patches, but it's gold-plated. It's their mascot, I guess. They do this weird initiation ritual with it. Ritual? I hear they'll fill a room with candles and wear these totally creepy robes during initiation. This year 2 girl said she saw it once, and they were all like chanting around the boots, and it sounded like they were talking backwards.
Cool.
But I don't believe her. And even if it's true, I don't care if they're a cult because they're all really hot. Do they have a lot of friends? Yeah, tons of friends. I'd say they're the most popular kids in school. I mean, everyone in the school totally looks up to them. I bet they could get any girl in the school, too. Or boy, for that matter. No judgments here. Hey, are you gonna eat your cake?
Yes.
Nope.
Oh.
I'll be right back. I need a drink.
I shook my head and pushed the plastic tray across the table to her. For the remainder of lunch, I listened to Mia talk about Jared through mouthfuls of half-dissolved frosting. Back at the dorm, I sorted through the pile of textbooks the school left for me. My radio was playing a poppy tune, equal parts music to static. Yay, static. Mia fervently scribbled in a notebook at her desk, hunched over with strikingly poor posture.
Might want to let them know about your dyslexia.
Oh, yeah. If I stumble over certain words, it's because I'm dyslexic. So, especially with the light background and white words, it's really hard for me to actually read. That's why she's been reading most of what's going on. Is so you guys understand and don't have to actually listen to me stutter through the whole entire episode.
Hey.
Hey, Mia? Mm-hmm. She didn't bother to look up. Am I supposed to have a textbook for History 309? She shuffled through the papers on her desk before producing a thick textbook. A demure man in a powdered wig frowned at me from the cover. Yeah, this one. I sighed. I don't have that one. The school must have missed it. Mia shrugged and set the textbook back in her pile. They have a bunch at the library. You can just go check one out. Where's the library? Mia ruffled through her notebook and wrote something down. She tore the paper out and handed me a crudely drawn map. Oh. Okay. Well, I'll be back in a little bit.
And here, before anything happens, we're gonna save.
On day 1.
Alright, hit return.
Ow!
So this video has been going long enough. With visual novels and games like this, I like to try to keep it between like 20-30 minutes. So that's been the first episode, first decision made. We probably should have saved back at that decision, just so you can see different outcomes. But I mean, you're going through this again numerous times anyway, so it doesn't matter. Nice thing is when you complete one route, you can literally hit the skip button, and it will take you through all of the text right back to that first question. It always stops you at the question in case you want to change your route.
Nice!
Yeah, so that we don't have to do this over and over and over and over and over again. Because it's taken us like 20-30 minutes to get here. Anyway, guys, this is Alywaterbug. I'm Flora Gainsborough. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.